Hey, everybody, welcome back to yet another special brew report. Today, we are in the kitchen. Today, we're going to be doing what me and my father have often talked about, which is my mom's famous kale salad. We eat it often. It's a kale salad that she discovered while she was on a trip to San Francisco. We kind of are going to remix it a little bit because, of course, we want it to align with what we've talked about, which is Dr. Furman's GBOMBS diet. But the traditional recipe usually just entails kale and some tomatoes, onions, some nuts, cranberries, of course, and you can put Parmesan cheese. That's for the original. And you use champagne dressing. Now, if you're vegan with the Parmesan cheese, you can always use a vegan Parmesan. But today we are going to do a special brewer report version of my mother's kale salad. As I said, this is includes a lot of what Dr. Furman talks about when it comes to the G bombs diet. You have your greens, your beans, your onions, your well, we don't have mushrooms in this kale salad, but my dad will be giving you a tip on how you can still incorporate mushrooms even during your meal. You have berries in the form of dried cranberries. Of course, it's preferred for you to have fresh berries, but you can always have that prior with your smoothie meals. And then we will have seeds in this particular salad. But one tip, we have kale here. I have already massaged this kale. You massage kale because kale is pretty rough. And the way you massage it is you put a little oil, olive oil on it, and you take your hand and you just massage it and let it sit for about 30 minutes, my mother says. You do want to put maybe a little bit of salt on it as well. But we're going to be seasoning a little later, but that should help to minimize some of the roughage or the rough part of kale. But have my dad take it away.
Right. This is my wife's famous Deanie's kale salad. It is super healthy and has a lot of antioxidants and nutrients in it. And we're going to talk about how you can absorb some of those nutrients as we begin to assemble the salad.
Yes. So what we're starting with the kale.
Right. Kale is heart healthy, obviously, as well as cancer healthy. And also, one of the things that can happen, a lot of people can't handle quite raw kale. So you can steam your kale. But if you do steam your kale, you also want to add something called mustard seed powder, it basically will help you absorb the sulforaphane, which is the antioxidant in the kale. Remember, the sulforaphane is good for fighting cancer.
Yes. And then next we have the arugula.
Arugula is my favorite vegetable because it has high in nitric oxide. It increases blood flow, and it's also in the cruciferous vegetable category. I actually make an arugula salad prior to my workouts every day.
And you see me kind of tossing a little bit. You wanted to talk about why we toss kind of as we add.
Yeah, you're gonna toss so that you can get all that seasoning in there, etc. And we're gonna be able to you'll be able to see how we actually toss a little bit later.
Next, we have the big boy here, even though it's in a small container. We have broccoli sprouts.
Now, broccoli sprouts are the king and queen of cruciferous vegetables. They are the highest antioxidant vegetable on the planet. It has sulforaphane at a maximum level. In fact, if you're fighting cancer or have a friend that's involved that has a cancer problem, you definitely want to add broccoli sprouts to your salad. And to also enhance the sulforaphane, we want to add some uh, mustard seed powder to it, which enhances the bioavailability of the sulforaphane, which is that super antioxidant.
And you want to do it now, right?
Yeah,
You want to add, yeah, the mustard seed. Because we want to make sure it really gets in that.
right.
Uh,
And we're gonna sprinkle it in there and mix it in. That this is another reason you toss.
yes. Okay. So I'll start tossing. I'm not the best tosser.
It works.
I'm struggling with the toss.
It works. It works.
But yeah. So next, are we putting the cabbage?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Purple cabbage. Remember, the antioxidants are in the pigment. So purple cabbage have indoles and anthocyanins. Those are antioxidants that are all good for your heart. They're good for fighting cancer. In fact, they found that the purple cabbage is really good for people who are concerned about breast cancer because of the indoles that are in there.
Yes. Next, let's do some onions.
Onions. Okay, we're going to add the red onions. Remember what we said during our onion podcast? That red onions are the highest in antioxidants. And also remember that you only take off the shell on the onion and nothing else. The antioxidants are really concentrated in this outer layer of the onion.
Yes. We want to get all of the goodies. Now, this is my dad's favorite. That's why we have so many tomatoes. My dad, he wants his tomatoes. I'm going to reserve a few because we're all going to have our lunch after this.
All right, tomatoes, of course, are lycopene, which is that super antioxidant. Of course, it's a higher concentration in tomatoes that are cooked. But of the tomatoes, is Roma tomatoes and cherry tomatoes have the highest amount of lycopene in them. So when you buy your tomatoes for your salad, you want to get either one of the either cherry or Roma.
Yes. Now, what should I do next? Should I do the edamame bean?
Yeah, do the bean.
Okay.
Okay, so remember what we said in our bean podcast. You should have beans at least 2 to 3 times a day. So great way to do that is to put it in your salad. Edamame beans are the highest in terms of protein. They have more proteins per 100 grams. It's 13 grams per 100 grams of protein. Also good for fighting cancer because of the soy. So as we've already mentioned, our Asian brothers and sisters have a lower cancer rates. Why? Because they eat more whole soy. This is a whole soybean.
Yes. And let's move on to the seeds.
All right.
So we have right here hemp seeds.
Hemp seeds, of course, are great for omega-3. Omega-3 is also good for your heart.
And then we have, for me, I like sunflower seeds. For me, I like the little crunch it adds to it. You don't, some of these are optional. You don't have to always.
The sunflower seeds are the highest in concentration of vitamin E.
Yeah. Now, another one of my dad's favorites, pumpkin seeds.
Pumpkin seeds are high in zinc, which is obviously very good for your immune system, also good for your prostate. And we probably can, and you can add a little bit of citrus to it. You want to squeeze a lemon on this salad, you make sure you enhance the absorption of the zinc.
And we have the famous flax seeds.
Flax seeds are the elixir of everything, cancer, heart, etc. You got to have flax seeds in your diet daily.
Next, we have cranberries.
Now, cranberries are good. The dried cranberries, as we've already said, are not as good as the fresh, but it's good for cancer. It's also good for your urinary tract system. Plus, dried cranberries are going to really take this salad to another level with the sweetness.
Yes. And I'm going to toss a little bit, as my dad suggested.
Then you want to toss to get those seeds mixed in there real good.
Yes. So there's that toss. Then somewhat last in terms of the main ingredients, we have our nuts. We have walnuts and we have pecans.
Walnuts are the highest antioxidant nuts, followed by pecans. So you're adding that extra. Again, when we talked about nuts, people who eat nuts live longer. So this is another way to get GBOMBS plus nuts.
Yeah. Now, we have spices here, guys. I am showing you a B-roll of that. And what I'm doing is I'm putting it all in this container. You know, sometimes it's good to mix your spices and you kind of get it all married together, if you will.
Right.
And then I'll just sprinkle it a little bit here. I may not do all of it because, like I said, we're about to share this salad. But with the spices, you do what it is you want. But like I said, I'm showing you a B-roll of it. And what spices are we including? We have paprika, smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, basil, oregano, salt, pepper, and we also have, well, my dad has already done the mustard seed and the famous mushroom powder. Go ahead and speak on that a little bit. It enhances the flavor, right?
Yeah, mushroom powder is sort of like this good version of MSG, or what, some people have used accent, but it doesn't have the health problems that the MSG can cause. So, but it really gives it that little bit of salty taste, but boy, it really enhances the flavor of your salad.
Right. Now, since we've added these seasonings, definitely need to toss now. And our salad, for the most part, is ready to go. But my dad, we're going to talk about some of these dressings, which you have to be careful with dressing. Um, Furman, Gregor, they all recommend that you make your own dressing. I know some people make a dressing with tahini, olive oil, I believe some lemon juice, and Dijon mustard. I know that that can be kind of a popular vegan dressing, but you can always do your own. But today we do have some store bought dressings.
Right. We're going to use one of my favorites is by Paul Newman, because he has and this is a classic oil vinaigrette. I also use a lemon vinaigrette uh, as well. But one of the things that we do is that we add turmeric to the dressing. I've already put a teaspoon of turmeric in here, and we add some black pepper. Now, why do we do that? Because of the curcumin in the turmeric. This is a great way to get turmeric into your diet, into your meals. And what turmeric does is good for your heart, it's good for your brain, and it's definitely good for pain as well as cancer. So this is a great way to get turmeric into your salad.
Yeah.
And this is a favorite of my wife's. It's called champagne dressing, Gerard's. It's also a very tasty dressing. And so for those of you who would like this kind of a vinaigrette, this is a good one.
And balsamic vinaigrette is good with it as well. And again, back to the champagne, that is a part of the original recipe of this particular kale salad that my mom discovered in San Francisco. So,
Okay.
should I pour a little bit?
Yes, shake it and
Bake it. We have our little mics on. We don't want, hopefully, we're not disturbing you too much with too much movement, but hey, this is a work in progress, guys. This is not $1 million studio. But I'm putting a little bit of the dressing on there. Put as much as you want. I'm someone who actually likes extra dressing. But you do have to be careful with dressing, guys, because of the oils. Sometimes there's sugars in dressings, but right now this salad is smelling good and looking good.
one more point, one tip.
Oh yes.
To get your mushrooms in, I take every when I don't have mushrooms in my meals, I always take a mushroom supplement. Of course, our favorite mushroom supplement is Five Defenders, which has five basic mushrooms already in it. So that's another way to complete the GBOMBS with this particular salad.
Yes. So there you have it. This salad is done, and we'll be back to taste it. So we're done making our salads. Now, time for the taste test.
Excellent,
Mm,
excellent.
very hearty.
And we're having our high antioxidant hibiscus tea with our salad.
Here we go. I love that hibiscus.
Bon appetit.
Yes. See y'all next time. Peace.